Hi, this is Neil Toff from Callzilla checking in with some feedback on this week's ICMI chat. That's hashtag ICMI chat. The topic of this week was culture in the contact center. Host was Kevin Hagebarth, and I thought he did an outstanding job. Brought all of us together. We come from different elements of the industry and had, I think, a really detailed discussion on different points of view. I think what was great about the discussion is not necessarily there was not necessarily consensus. We didn't all agree on each point, which is actually, I think, valuable. One of the most important points I thought that we talked about was, can you influence culture? Do you have courses and events and an organized, concerted effort to create or to foster culture? I'm of the opinion that that is limited, that culture is really just what you're doing all day long. Sure, if you make emphasis on metrics, that definitely helps. Your emphasis and focus on certain elements of the business, on the operation, on the quantitative, on the qualitative portion, on customer experience, the influence of senior management and management, what things are important to them, the treatment that they give to different elements and the people within the operation. All of those things influence culture. I think it's what we're doing during the 24 hours of the day. Rather, you can't create culture or emphasize culture pulling people aside and doing an event or a one-off. I think there are events. I love what Erica Strother said about doing some things, for example, like doing volunteer events, taking people outside of the facility, conducting a shared event, doing something that helps team building, that illustrates the values of the company or of the operation or of the group. I think those things definitely go a long way. However, I do think that culture is built in what you're doing during the 24-hour day period. In my own contact center, I'm very much aware of the need to continue to try to build a cohesive culture and emphasize the things that are important. Some of those are metrics. Some of those are things related to customer experience. Some of those are related to our client experience. Culture in an outsourced contact center like ours, I think, is a much different discussion than an in-house contact center that is maintained and operated by a brand. As an outsourced center, we have to have our own culture, and we have to hopefully align our culture or cultures as closely as possible with those of our clients. But what happens when you have clients that have obviously unique and different cultures? It's not always easy to replicate this, and you have to learn and sort of mold and adapt yourself how to fit those. I think of the usual participants, we are one of the few outsourced operations, and so our experience, I think, is different than a lot of that of many of the participants in our chats. Anyway, it was an excellent discussion. I learned a lot from it. I thank Kevin again for some wonderful leadership and guidance as the host. I will be hosting next week's chat. That's Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. ICMI chat, hashtag ICMI chat. Thank you very much in advance for tuning in. Thanks again to Kevin. And again, call center and contact center culture, critical topic in our industry. Thanks.